Stakeholders in Nigeria's manufacturing sector have raised concerns over the federal government's plan to introduce a tax stamp track and trace system on excisable products, warning it could saddle manufacturers with extra costs and slow the sector's fragile recovery. Although aimed at curbing illicit trade and boosting revenue, critics say the hybrid paper-digital model lacks full real-time visibility and may be inefficient compared with fully digital systems already in use. The plan presented by the Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service is yet to be formally launched but has drawn sharp industry pushback over operational and financial risks. To unpack this, I am joined by Dr. Femi Egbesola, that's President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I want us to kind of break this down. From the name tax stamp, one can guess what it is, but just so everyone is carried along, tell us what this means in practical terms.
All right, tax stamp is more or less a regulatory mechanism whereby every product that is excisable, excise duties are collected by customs, the Nigerian customs. Every product that is excisable carries this stamp. There are some of these excisable products are like alcohol, like cigarettes, tobacco, sugary products, and a number of other products. So they are supposed to carry this stamp. This stamp sometimes comes as a high security label, or sometimes it can come like a code, like a QR code and all of that. And it means that every individual product, the unit of the product must carry this stamp. And what this means is that there will be a vendor that will be providing the stamp for manufacturers. So the manufacturers will now buy the stamp, so to speak, and fix it on each single product they are producing. So in a way, it also means that the funding from the payment of the stamp duty will go to government, but the vendor will take about some percentage as commission for the process, but the bill or the burden goes to the manufacturer. It is really done to ensure that illicit products are not in the market so that buyers can easily know that these are original products. It's also another way of generating revenue for government through the customs service. At the same time, too, it's also to ensure that manufacturers are compliant to tax payments when it comes to excise duties.
Well, I know manufacturers have sort of called this stamp fee a hidden tax that violates the 2025 Tax Act, right? But if the government is using this fee specifically to fund the technology that protects your brand from fakes, isn't this more of a service charge for intellectual property protection than a tax? Because you already said that, it's going to be put on products. And so we know that these products have been certified. They are not illicit. And then they've been, the tax and everything has been done. Talk to us about that.
Well, for manufacturers, it's not a welcome idea. Rather, we see it as a burden. Burden because it is an additional charge, additional fee.
Additional fee that sort of separates your goods from fakes. Isn't that a good one?
Yeah. Well, it is not really a good one because at the moment we already have one that was introduced last year by customs. It is called the Odogu Excise Reporting System. This is also a track and trace system whereby it is going to do more or less the same thing. You see, in other parts of the world these days, manufacturers, government are moving away from physical labeling to going fully digital. And that's where we have an issue with. And again, coming with several bills at the same time is more or less raising more taxes. We believe that government can actually do more by engaging with manufacturers, co-designing a new product that will achieve the same thing without necessarily burdening the manufacturers. The manufacturers are already having very thin margin, thin profits because of the many inclement situations we have in the country at the moment. You are aware, of course, that we still continue to fight high inflation, although inflation is said to be coming down, but it is one of the highest in the world as we speak. At the same time, the excise rates are increasing every day. Customs keep increasing excise rates. And this leads to weak demand because when products are very expensive, it is difficult for the consumers to buy because eventually some of these costs will be passed to the end users. And again, too, it gives illicit product at the end of the day more competitiveness because when products are very costly, consumers at the end of the day look for cheaper ones. which are most times the illicit product at the detriment of the original one that are locally produced. Another argument that we are also putting forward is that even if you must come up with a vendor that wants to do a thing like this, it has to be a local vendor. Remember that the Nigerian Force Policy says that government must patronize locally made products and services first. If we are able to have a local vendor, funds like this will be coming again to establish more of the companies here and grow our economy. Why must we continue to pay a vendor in America? The vendor appointed for this is an American company. Many other countries that this is also operating, like in Ghana, is also having a number of issues and a number of protests from manufacturers. We don't think that's the way to go at this point in time. We believe that there should be a strong handshake between government and the masses, particularly manufacturers, when strategic policies like this are in place. We're very happy that the new tax law came up, that is the new tax reform of 2025, which started implementation this year. But this again is like giving a gift with one hand and using the second hand to take it away. It is not good for us. It is a complexity of additional cost coming to manufacturers, which indeed is a big burden.
You mentioned Bodogu, and that, of course, is one that some persons have touted as an alternative. But really, intrinsically, when you look at both of them, are they going to deliver the same things?
Yes. Well, for the Bodogu automated excise reporting system, it is designed to also be able to track those who are actually paying custom duties, to also track tax compliance, and at the same time to also be able to digitalize the process of tax payments to customs. That's the objective. But what this new initiative, the stamp plan is going to do further is for customers to now be able to see physically for themselves these stamps on products and can now ascertain really if it is an illicit product or not. But we believe we can still achieve the same goal by just automating the Bodogu to do more. We must go digital, and we must do it without necessarily adding more payments and taxes to manufacturers. Manufacturers are not doing well. At the moment, because of the reform, there are some very, 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 very minimal growth and the sustainability in that sector. Adding re-taxing to manufacturers under any guise, under compliance or whatever we call it, will definitely erode the gains of the tax simplification that we already have. And I think it's time for government to now call manufacturers so that we can sit again on the table, talk about it, redesign it, co-create it, co-implement it, and see how it can work with us meeting at the middle of the post.
Right, Mr. Egbesola, we need to go on a very quick timeout. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Thank you. Glad to know you stay with us, and I have with me Dr. Femi Egbesola, the President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria. Thank you for staying with me. But I'd like you to land on that thought when you were talking about this earlier.
Pardon?
But I wanted to say you should land on that thought, but I guess we should just move on. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, just so we are clear, I remember that manufacturers, and not just manufacturers, even PwC, issued position papers separately, asserting that this was not necessary, saying that there are homegrown solutions, which you have alluded to, Bodogu. You've talked extensively about that particular one that can handle these things. Does it seem to you that the government does not trust local solutions, or why would the government want to, import solution?
Well, I really do not know the thinking of government choosing to use Authentics. That company is known as Authentics, which is a US-based company. And why I am worried is because the Bodogu is an indigenous local digital solution that is already working. And we think that should be promoted. I really don't know why we have a Nigerian Force Policy in place and we are choosing to take our services out of the country for other nationals to come and take over. The worry about it is not about being just a foreign expertise per se, but it's about technology transfer. We need companies that are here that can do technology transfer, value retention, cost implication, and appropriateness of the solutions. We feel that Nigeria should maximize local capacity and digital solutions that are already developed, like that Bodogu we mentioned, before engaging any foreign provider or solution providers. And it has also to be tailored to our cost realities and our local market needs. some of these solutions cannot work here for now because of the realities, and that's our concern. So, and if you ask me, I would rather prefer government to look at how we can leverage existing digital platforms that already deliver real-time traceability for customs and see how we can build more on that and ensure that stakeholders' engagement with manufacturers is real, so that we can co-redesign this program together in a way that will make it sustainable. And if, of course, too, we also want to look at how we can do away with all these paper-related innovations. Let's go fully digital, make it scalable, rather than this hybrid term that we're looking at again. And I also put forward for SMEs, because SMEs do not really have much profit to work with, and this will be a bigger burden. So I want to say then that government should provide a cost-sharing framework whereby these SMEs will not be overly burdened at the end of the exercise. And there will also be incentives also from government to support those who adopt this new innovation. I'm not talking of the current one we have. When we have a co-design innovation, government should provide incentives for those who are adopting it, especially SMEs, so that we can see more people coming on board to migrate to this system.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Femi Egbesola, President House Bond, for sharing your thoughts with us on this.